Welcome to the Back to Basics series, and in this episode, we're going to share the story of Jessica, where she shared with you how to find courage to do what's best for you. This is a repost from original episode number 152. We are taking a break from creating original episodes for the Beyond the Food show for the period of July 2020, while we work and concentrate our creative juices to create a revolutionary project, something that will change life and change the industry. And this will be coming forth in August 2020. To be the first to know about this secret project, join the waitlist at stephaniedodier.com/coming or use the link in the show note. The Back to Basics series is brought to you by BetterHelp Online. And yes, that's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. It's an online counseling service provider that I've been using personally for months for my own healing. BetterHelp is not a crisis line. It is not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online. I can log into my account anytime, send a message to my counselor. I can schedule my weekly video or phone session. And the reason why I love BetterHelp is for their commitment to a great therapeutic matches, because if it doesn't work right for you with the first counselor, you can change at any time. And because it's online, it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, plus they offer financial aid. If you think this can help you in your journey beyond the food, I've arranged with BetterHelp for a 10% discount for a community member. All you have to do is visit BetterHelp.com/beyondfood. And again, that's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. I know with my accent, it can get funny sometimes. I hope this serves many of you sisters. Ready? Let's talk to Jessica. Ladies, welcome back. And this is a very special episode because it is an inspiration episode. I'm sharing with you a case study. So for those who don't know what a case study is how we went about changing something. Like, what was the process? What was the effort, the work that was needed, how we went about changing, transforming, or creating something. And the case study today is how Jessica Tomasko, a 40-something-year-old woman, mother of two, husband, a professional therapist, went about changing her 35-year cycle of dieting, binging, deprivation, and how she did it and how it impacted her whole life. She wasn't into it at the beginning to change her whole life, but it had massive ripple effect towards her whole life. And Jessica is such a beautiful soul. For those of you who want to see her visually, you can go to YouTube to find the podcast. We have actually video footing of that interview. She's a source of inspiration. So if only this episode can serve you as a source of inspiration, that's my hope. And that's the goal for Jessica, for sharing her story as well. So my intro is going to be very quick today because I want to get right away to Jessica's story, her case study, and the inspiration that she can provide you to take the leap of faith to go beyond the food, to heal your relationship to food, to yourself, and the possibility that that will have in your life. So if you're ready, let's roll the footage, the audio file of Jessica. How did you came about knowing about the Academy? Like, how did we get introduced and how did you get to know it was the right thing for you? Can you walk us through that?
Well, yes, I started listening to your podcasts and I loved them. And I probably listened to each one 2 or 3 times because I felt so connected with you and with your message. And then you did the 2 free training courses.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact topic because we've gone through so many topics at this point, but I think it was actually the introduction to the Crave Cure.
Oh.
Yes, the breathing, how to breathe through your feelings instead of going to the food to escape. And that was one of my biggest issues. And so after I did that free training, I actually did it twice.
Okay.
I just felt like I had won the lottery. I felt like finally I have found the answer, because I've spent my whole life binging and then forcing myself to do some sort of horrific diet. I've done all of them. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for 35 years. I can't continue this. I don't want to spend the last half of my life feeling miserable. And so I just couldn't wait to start the academy. I was so excited. And every week has been an absolute joy. And it's also been very, very difficult to figure out, why has this been happening my entire life, and addressing all of those behaviors and all of those feelings. And it's uncomfortable to sit with your feelings and breathe through them, because I was so used to, if I was angry, I would eat to escape. If I was upset, I would eat to escape. If my daughter was screaming because she has horrific anxiety, I would eat, even though she's still screaming in the background. And then I would have to deal with the aftermath, not only of her screaming, but now I've eaten a ton of food and I physically feel absolutely horrific. So the academy has helped me figure out, like you said, feel it, don't fight it.
Yeah.
I actually know that if I feel my feelings, I'm going to survive. It's going to be okay. I can sit with those and nothing bad is going to happen to me. And to figure out my self-sabotage behaviors. And one of the exercises that we did was we wrote a letter to our best friend. And of course she said, you need to stop dieting, because that's what I've been doing my whole life. But one of the things that came out from that is that I never gave myself any time. And I think I mentioned this in our classes, that I would make these beautiful lunches and meals for my family. But then when it came to me, I would just eat junk. And I never took the time to actually feed myself something nourishing. So I remember the first time I did it was on a Monday, and then we had our class on a Tuesday, and I was so uncomfortable making that beautiful salad for myself. It was just crazy. So you go through all of these. It's like a metamorphosis. You go through all of these changes, and you come out at the end of the academy knowing so much more about yourself and so much more about why you're doing certain things and how to correct them. And as you said in your podcast today, I still emotionally eat. However, I am aware that I'm emotionally eating. Like my son was going off to scout camp by himself today for a week. And so I thought, well, I'm going to have some wine. But I didn't beat myself up over it. I just enjoyed it with the knowledge that this isn't the end of the world and I'm not a bad person and I can still love myself. It's just amazing. And throughout the academy, the only really dread that I had was it ending, because I didn't want to lose that connection with you or the other students, because you learn so much from the other students. And I remember Anka saying at one point, it's really, we need to lose our addiction to dieting. Mm-hmm. It's not about the food, but it's about that addiction to dieting and looking to somebody else for all of the answers instead of really looking within and knowing that, we've got this and we can do this and we know what's going on and we know our behaviors and we know that we can breathe through and survive all the uncomfortable and the negative feelings. So it's just been awesome. And then I've made, as I've shown on Facebook, I always have to start the day with either your podcast or a visual from our class, because it gets me in the right mindset. So I created a really pretty diagram about the 4 bodies, and it's right up in my bathroom, and I look at it all the time, and it helps keep me focused.
It helps retrain your brain to this new way of living.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that...
And Stephanie, I'm wearing short sleeves. I never would have done. I'm wearing shorts. And it is hot. I would have been wearing 3/4 length sleeves or full length sleeves in the summer. And now we're talking about body acceptance. We don't have to adore our bodies, but just body acceptance. And I'm like, I'm wearing short sleeves and I'm enjoying it. And
you haven't died from anyone looking at you or...
Yeah. Because actually no one cares.
Exactly.
Nobody cares what I'm wearing. And I've been going to the pool
with the kids.
and enjoying the pool with my kids in a swimsuit, not in a cover up, not in a t-shirt. And I've seen everybody, scout parents, parents from school, teachers, like everybody's at the pool. And before I would have just wanted to leave. And now I just think, whatever. We're all different. We all have different body types and different shapes and all of that, and just enjoy.
That's amazing. So what would you say to a woman that's sitting at home right now or re-listening to that, and it's Monday, and she's hesitant, either because of time? The main two objection is time and money. What would you say to that woman who's similar to your age, maybe a mother, 2 kids, and she's thinking, I'm just going to fail again. Why even bother doing this?
I would say you are worth it. You are worth the time. You are worth the money. Chances are you're going to really be tempted to try the newest fad diet that's out there, and it's going to fail. None of these work. And I'm so proud of myself that I have the last half of my life to enjoy. You talk about food freedom, but it is freedom from dieting. It's freedom from the old negative thoughts. It's freedom from your old patterns that you just can't break. You're breaking free of all of these things. You are worth it.
So it sounds like it's much more than just food.
Oh, right. It's everything else in your life. And when we talk about self-sabotage behaviors and being a type A personality, and hello, fellow type A, and being a perfectionist. And I had this massive aha moment, because it's not just Academy didn't just impact me, it's impacted my whole family. Because I realized through you that perfectionism had a really harsh and negative effect on my kids and on my marriage. Because when I expect myself to be perfect, I also expected my husband to be perfect. And if I was focused on eating perfectly, I had an eyeball over on him, and are you eating perfectly? And I would get really angry and cranky if he wasn't eating perfectly. And so it's just really lifted a veil, and it's allowed me to enjoy myself and enjoy my family and enjoy my husband more and just enjoy life more. It truly is life-changing. And no diet, no fad diet, no exercise program, even though, we love movement, is going to do that for you. You're just going to keep spinning your wheels. You're going to be the hamster on that wheel going around and around and around. And I know that feeling of desperation because I've lived it. I've always wanted to find the magic pill or the magic diet or the magic exercise program, and it doesn't exist. We have to dig deep within ourselves and figure out what's going on so that we can move through it.
And not put a Band-Aid on it. Let me ask you another question, because one of the things that I am not is a mother. And I've talked about that on my podcast that I've released today. I work with mostly more just mother, because I work with, since the last 5 years, 95% of my patients are women, and they're mostly mother. But I cannot say that I'm a mom. But I know for a fact, through the work that I've done, the result that I see, that if you can't do it for you, you should consider doing it for your kids and your family.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because the impact is great.
It's huge.
They learn, from my perspective and the studies that I've done, they learn from the behavior, not the words.
Right.
Is that what you're seeing with who you are today versus who you were?
Oh, 1,000 times. And I know a lot of moms and parents out there will agree that sometimes it feels like your kids can read your mind. So even if you're not saying something, it's almost like they're in there and they know what's going on. And my son just looks like your average 11-year-old boy, but there are some kids at school who were telling him that he was fat. And on the last day of school, he was crying, and we were sitting together, and I had this massive aha moment. And I said to him, well, because I remember at the beginning of the academy, I was obsessed. Like, how do I get rid of these last 10 pounds? And I just want to get rid of the last 10 pounds. And so I said to him, if I lost 10 pounds, would I be a better mom? And he said, no, of course not. I said to him, if I gained 10 pounds, would I be a worse mom? And he said, no, you would still be you. And I said, so if you gained 10 pounds or if you lost 10 pounds, would that make you a better or worse person? And he was able to say no. And it was clicking to him that your weight does not matter. And that is not how he should define himself, and that he's a superstar regardless. And he views me as a superstar no matter what I weigh.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other day he was feeling bad about being mean to his very challenging sister. And sometimes I think she deserves it, but
Yeah.
he felt really bad about it. And he said, I'm just a terrible brother. And I said, you know what our goal is right now is to not judge ourselves, and that we're doing the best that we can. And that is something from the academy. Even though I'm a child and family therapist, it's hard to apply it to your own family. And so, yeah, this has been huge for my kids also, with the idea there's no good or bad foods. You don't use food as a reward system. I don't use food as a punishment. Food is just food.
And it's interesting. So you're opening up the fact that you are a therapist. So you are in the field of coaching people. You are in the field of helping other people with their mind. How is it different than what you have learned as a therapist or practice as a therapist? Like, how does it either combine or different from that work?
Well, I think I was just so stuck in the mud of my own behaviors that even though I can help somebody else, and even though I know how to create new neural pathways, I couldn't make that connection to my own behaviors in relation to how I used to eat my emotions constantly. I didn't know how to get off of that train. It's just so different when I'm talking with somebody else about depression and anxiety and school issues versus my own eating behaviors. I needed somebody else. I needed you to lift that veil. I needed the support from the other students because they normalized everything that I was feeling. And even during our Q&A sessions, if I thought, well, I don't have any questions because I was kind of stuck in my head, somebody else would ask a question that completely applied to me. And it would be a huge aha moment. And I think that there is greater change in a community setting. So if you're out there trying to do it alone, and I've read every diet book there is, this is completely different because you're doing the assignments and you're sharing your findings online, and then people are commenting on it. Or if you haven't done the assignment, you see that somebody has, and it's very motivating to go forward. It is just so much harder to do it on your own, just from reading a book or listening to a podcast. I think this is an amazing experience.
I think it's very powerful. What you said is the word community and the word normalization, because when we're stuck in that and we're confronted with society's expectation, body image, behaviors, food, and all of that, we think we're the only one. And I keep saying all the time, you're not broken. Like, there's nothing wrong with you.
Right.
We're all of us are like that, but we all keep it secret behind the scene in our head.
Right. And I felt like such a failure because I would gain 10 pounds and then lose 10 pounds and then gain. It's just like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? And I just felt like all the moms at school were looking at me thinking, oh, she's gained that 10 pounds back. I see that. I see her pants are a little too tight today. And I've just been able to let go of all of that.
It's pretty cool. I think what you've shared is going to help a lot of people. And I could keep talking with you for hours, but I want to be able to move on to some of the questions that we've received and see if we can answer them. So one of the questions that was sent to me via Instagram was, how is this program differing from any other weight loss program? So I'm going to let you take a stab at it, and then I'll answer after that as the program creator.
Right. Well, this is really about digging deep into yourself and figuring out, how do you self-sabotage and how do you breathe through difficult emotions so that you can interrupt that behavior of going to food constantly when you're upset or you're uncomfortable or you're sad or you're frustrated. Or me, a big thing would be if I'm nervous, I would want to eat through that anxiety, but really the anxiety is still there. We're not focused on food or different types of food. This isn't low carb, high fat, or
Vegan.
we're not fasting.
No.
Thank goodness for that. And we're not counting calories, because I know all of you have had the same fear that I have when you think, okay, I'm going to try this diet. And if I lose the weight, but then what happens? What do I do then? And with the Academy, there is no then. There is no worry about what do I do then, because we've got this. We know what to do, and we know that we have ups and downs, and that we're going to ride that wave, and that some days we're going to eat to soothe our emotions, and that's okay. And it doesn't have to derail our whole lives.
Well, now I want to build on that. It's not a weight loss program.
No.
It's as simple as that. Like, we don't focus on weight loss. I don't permit discussion in the community about food of any type. So it's not a debate place about how to eat and how to lose. Like, the weight is actually, I ask participants to put it on hold for 12 weeks. Like, let's park this aside and let's work on everything else we haven't worked on up to now in your life. And then after 12 weeks, if you want to pick up the morsel of weight loss, you can, but likely you're going to be in a different mindset and you're going to go at it from a completely different perspective.
Oh, right. Because it's about kindness and compassion. It's not about punishing yourself with having to eat certain foods or having to count your calories or your macros or whatever. And it's so refreshing to get rid of all of those different groups on Facebook and Instagram.
The hope detox.
I deleted all of that, the apps on my phone, so I don't even have to see any of that anymore, because I know I'll never count calories again, ever.
And I want to talk to other people who may say, well, we have people in our group that have significant weight issue that are hindering their health. One of the concepts that we educate is around health at every size, which does not say you can't lose weight, but do it from a health perspective. So we're looking in our world about health gains instead of weight loss. It's all a mindset perspective. So you could still be looking at weight loss in the future, but with a new set of glass.
Exactly. And on my visual that's in my bathroom, I talk right in the middle is the feelings that I'm chasing, because that's what it is. It's not about losing 10 to 20 pounds. It's about what are those actual feelings that I want. And so what I've been doing for the past week or so is every time I have a meal, I think, okay, how does this support the feelings that I want to have, the feelings of peace and gratitude, and I want to feel strong and I want to feel sexy and all of that. And it does change the way I eat. And I do put more time into my meals because I'm thinking I'm worth it, because I am feeling that emotion right now.
Absolutely. And for those who don't have nutrition knowledge, then there is a course in the Academy that you can do. I teach holistic nutrition, like just real food. We don't go into dogma of any kind. So if you are needing the nutrition background to know how to make a meal healthy, there's a resource there for you. To help you with that. Here's another question that comes often, and from a student, you're probably the best to answer that one. It's how much time does it require? So I'm a mom. This particular woman has 4 children and I'm busy. So number one, go listen to my podcast from last Thursday, 136. That will help you with that. But from you who's done the course, how much time every week did you had to put in to get those results?
Well, on Tuesdays, the actual course was an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then I probably spent about 30 minutes doing the homework.
Yeah.
Or 30, it depends if I'm being interrupted by my kids. I might do it in smaller increments, which is good too. I mean, the result is the same. It's all amazing information. And then an hour for the Q&A. So I probably spent about 2.5 to 3 hours spread out throughout an entire 7 days. However, when we started talking about meditation and your guided meditation, I loved that so much that I would get up an extra 15 minutes early so I could fit that in. And I completely redid, now that I look back on it, this wasn't a conscious move, but I completely redid my morning routine so that I could get that in before my kids got up in the morning. And so I would take my shower, and instead of putting on my makeup and doing my hair right away, I would go right into that meditation. Because if I can put on my makeup and do my hair with my kids running around and asking me questions. And then it got to the point where I could do the guided meditation with my dog on my lap, or, little interruptions, and I could still keep my focus. But that was just a breath of fresh air, and it felt so good. It was a shot of happiness every morning that I needed. And now I don't have to do it as often.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably average doing it 4 to 5 times a week. And it's harder during the summertime, but I can still fit it in. And I would just say you can tweak your schedule. You do not have to do your homework immediately. You can break it up into small increments, especially with the journaling. You can do a little bit of journaling. Let's say if the homework assignment is going to take you 30 minutes, you could do 10 minutes for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very doable. And like I said before, you are worth it. I cannot imagine where I'd be if I hadn't joined the academy, especially since it's summertime. I actually do know where I'd be. I'd be doing some stupid starvation diet because we're getting ready to go to Mexico, and I would kill myself to lose 10 stupid pounds that I would gain in 1 week in Mexico. In 1 week, I would gain that back, and then I would just be miserable. And so this is the first time I'm not dieting before a vacation, and this is the first time I'm actually just going to be in my body and be with my family and enjoy it.
So let me ask a question, and it's not a question that people ask, but I know it's trotting in people's head right now because I've been on the other side listening to testimonial like this. I'm like, well, that's just BS. Like, I know this is what's happening in some woman's head. Like, how can it be so powerful? Like, one of the things you have to understand is, are you fully comfortable with not dieting? Or are you still feeling anxiety? Like, is it all roses, or there's still anxiety and like ups and downs?
Oh yeah, like my son going to camp, and it's like a little
a glass of wine
going on. I'm so triggered by smells and the season. So as soon as spring hit, I started to panic. And I know other students did too in the academy. I won't name them, but I know another student was saying, I've got to fit into my shorts. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I have to fit into my swimsuit, and my summer clothes don't even fit. What am I going to do? And I just had that desire so badly to diet. And it was so funny because I think, should I fast? Should I do a 5-day fast before Cancun? What am I going to do? Should I do 2 5-day fasts before Cancun? And then right at that time, somebody asked you a question.
Yes.
I think I could fast. Fasting seems to fit into my lifestyle. And I saw right through that. And I thought, oh, she's just looking for Stephanie to say, oh, yes, you can fast, when really all we'd be doing is jumping right back on that hamster wheel. And so I think one of the biggest things of the academy is just having that self-awareness that I'm going to have my ups and downs. And my son took another trip before scout camp that was really hard on both of us. And so I think I emotionally ate that whole week, but I was okay with it. It's like, okay, I'm going to eat some ice cream now. I'm super sad. I know that's why I'm eating ice cream. And I also know that I'm going to have that sadness afterwards. And I also did an experiment where I honored my emotions
and
that whole month and cried when I needed to cry. And that really helped.
And I bet you when you did eat the ice cream, you didn't eat the entire pint of ice cream.
Oh, no. I didn't. And before, it would be ice cream leads to chips, and chips lead to, nuts, and nuts lead to chocolate. And then it would be this massive amount of food. Whereas when my son was gone, it would just be like, I'm going to eat some ice cream. Yeah. Or he's going to camp, I'm going to share a bottle of wine with my friend.
And that's it.
And then it's over, and I'm not punishing myself, and I'm not saying negative things to myself.
One of the biggest thing is that we learn, and the lesson is you're not your emotion, is a concept of riding the wave and stop fearing our emotion.
Right.
So when we stop fearing our emotion, we no longer seek to run away from them. We may numb it for a little bit, but we're not completely running away from them. And that's a big thing. And
one time you said, what if you are your current weight forever?
I remember that.
And I was like, what? Because even when I started the academy, I thought, well, I'm, down the road, I'm still going to lose those last 10 pounds. And so I said to my husband, she said, what if, she said, what if I'm this weight forever? And I said to him, what if I'm this weight forever? And he was like, yeah, and you look great. What if you're that weight forever? So what? And it was just like this, 50 pounds were lifted off my shoulders because so much of my identity was into that number on the scale, and whether or not I was valued, whether or not I was beautiful, whether or not people took me seriously or appreciated me. My whole life was tied into that number.
And the fact that you weren't yet because you weren't that number.
Right, exactly. Right. I'll be happy when, and the dumbest was, I'll enjoy Cancun when I lose 10 pounds, yet I had lost the 10 pounds and I was miserable in Cancun because I was eating like a fiend and drinking because I had starved myself all the way up to that point. I was miserable knowing that, okay, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to be 10 pounds heavier.
Yeah, it's the whole cycle of shame and guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if we look? One of the other person that was supposed to be here tonight is Anka, but Anka is from Croatia. And when she accepted to come, she didn't realize it was going to be 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
So she sent me a short little video. So I'd like to share it with all of you because I've got the technology to do that. So if you let me share my screen, I am going to go into my little Facebook thingy here and have you listen. Anka is a young lady from Croatia, and she's actually a nutritional practitioner there. I'm not sure her exact designation professionally, but she was giving a lecture this weekend on food addiction. So I hope I can make this. Hold on. I had it here. Although I think I am very technologically friendly, sometimes I am not. So, okay, there you go. See Anka. Can you see us? Jessica?
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Oh, but I can't hear her.
Oh, you can't hear her. Well, I don't know how to fix that. I'll put it on the page, though, once I figure out how to put the volume on. Maybe it is. You guys, bear with me. So I'm going to go to the comment in just a minute. So if you guys have any question or comments, please put it into the comments. I'm going to do and open the application then, since we're sharing my screen here. Did you enjoy the learning platform? Was there anything that stuck out for you that was good that you would like to share with people while I show the platform? Was it easy for you?
Oh, yeah. I loved it. It was very easy. I really liked that the assignments were in a PDF form.
Oh, good.
Then I could save it to my phone, and that was an easy way to reference the assignment, and it made it a lot faster. So if my daughter was at gymnastics, I could just whip out my phone, go to that section, look through the homework, and start working on it.
And I think thank you for sharing that, because as a mom, that's very important to have a computer-friendly and phone-friendly application.
Exactly.
So this is the online platform. You will have access. So one of the things we discovered with the last semester of student is that this work continues. Well, I knew it was going to continue for the rest of their life, but they expressed that they needed support ongoing. So we made the academy a lifetime access to both the community and the online platform. That means that all the course material, the PDF, the video recording, all the other extra masterclass inside that I'll show you in a minute, all of it will be accessible for the rest of your life on this website and the community as well. So when you're signing up for this course, you're signing up for having access to all of this for the rest of your life. So you get the 12 lessons here, me teaching on a video here, that you can't access it live with me. You will get the recording that you can watch at your own convenience. So it's me on camera here. You have all your PDF below. And then you have a bunch of other courses that are accessible as well. So all my lecture, no matter where I've lectured or online or face-to-face, you will have it here. And you have some of my guest experts on different topics that will come in and do lecture in here on different topic. So you can select to access them. And this is all my live webinars that we're having here. And we also have, I just want to check if I can bring down that screen here. We have resources as well. So all the favorite things. So we have a bunch of stuff in here, like goodies and product and tools you can use with special discount for the community, and also access to the online community and a bunch of other stuff. So all of that is accessible for a lifetime. Was there anything else I needed to point out in here, or that pretty much hits everything?
I think that's everything.
Cool.
It's very easy and it's very convenient to be able to listen. Like you said, it's recorded. And so even if you can't make the particular times, you can listen to it afterwards. And I did a lot of that at my daughter's gymnastics or her horseback riding, because she's involved in a ton of different activities.
The classes happen on 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That should hit most of it. However, we have a number of people from Europe. So you saw Anka from Croatia. So if you're from another country and you can't be there in the right time, all the recording are usually accessible 3 or 4 hours after. So let me try this. I think I may have found the solution to our little Anka situation here. And I think we should be able to hear her. Let me know, Jessica. Can you hear her?
No, I can't.
I thought that was going to be the solution. It is not. So what else do we have? The one question we got is, where does the program take place? So let me answer that. It's all on the internet. So there's no like me going to a physical place, a physical city. It's all on the internet. It's on the platform I'm using right now with Zoom, which is very user intuitive. So it's not complicated. It's all video, audio. You don't have to have a camera on your laptop. Some of our students don't. As long as you have a computer that you can watch the video and you can open the sound and ask a question for the live coaching session, that's all you need. You can choose to put your face on camera or not. Let me ask you another question, Jessica. How do you see your life change, go forward, from applying what you've learned in the academy?
Well, I just think I'm so much happier now because I'm not caught up. I'm not obsessed with losing weight or the current fad diet or trying to fast for a full day. I'm just so much happier. It's really enabled me just to enjoy life and enjoy these moments. Whereas before I would have been focused on, how do I look? How do my clothes fit? Should I be 10 pounds less? Am I ever going to be 10 pounds less? I was constantly focused, like you said, on being happy when. And it's just such a blessing to be able to have this now so that I can be in the moment with my family. And I've talked about that vacation to Cancun a lot, but this will be the first time that I've actually truly enjoyed it. And it's such a shame. It is such a waste that I've spent the past 9 years we've been going. 9 years I have been focused on, am I sucking in my stomach? Oh, I can't eat those chips. And there's too much sugar in that margarita. And I know it sounds petty, but my focus, I was obsessed with, did I look good enough? Did I look good enough in my swimsuit? I'm wearing a sundress without sleeves, and now I have to walk to the resort store, and who's going to be staring at me? And I just am finally, I'm free from all of that. I mean, I don't know, it might come and go. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we leave on Saturday, but I've done some test runs at the pool, and it just is freedom from all of that.
So you're leaving this Sunday?
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear from you back in the Facebook community, how you did after.
Oh, I'll post.
Yes, please.
I just can't wait to just enjoy sitting with my husband by the pool instead of thinking, should I order that drink? Should I not order that drink? It was just this nonstop chatter in my head that I couldn't escape. And it's so much quieter now. It pops up now and it pops up here and there, but I don't know, then it leaves. It's not here to stay anymore.
And what I can say, so you're fresh out of that 12-week course. So it's been 15 weeks by now, or 14 weeks. All I can say is I've been through it for 3 or 4 years now. And the frequency of those thoughts just gets bigger and bigger. In between, the space in between those thoughts just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
I cannot tell you that it will ever go away because I'm not there yet. But I can tell you the space between them and the intensity of them just keeps reducing all the time.
And it's such a joy. I packed a picnic for the swimming pool the other day, and it was so nice to actually think about, what do I really want to eat today? Not what should I eat, or, oh, I'm doing no sugar, no grain, so that means I can't have any fruit this summer. But just figuring out what sounds good, what's going to fill me up, what's going to help my skin glow. And yeah, maybe it's going to be a lot of fruit and what that has a lot of natural sugar in it. And who cares? I just enjoyed it.
So let me ask you another question then. So now that you're eating intuitively, are you seeking McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and processed white breads and all that stuff? Or are you seeking healthy food? Like, what comes up to you?
Well, it's interesting because I'm finally taking the time for myself
Yeah.
and my family now that it's summertime. I don't have to make school lunches.
Yep.
Before the academy, and I was trying to do no sugar,
Yeah.
no grains. That also meant no zucchini and a lot of wonderful vegetables. And so I just think about what looks really good at the grocery store, and what, the beets are really pretty today, and let's get some beets. And we've never eaten a lot of fast food. We've never enjoyed that. And so I haven't been craving that. But one thing that's gone way down is, I mentioned a while back that I realized during the academy that I would binge on veggie chips in the can. And I realized during the academy, I don't even like veggie chips. It's like I was so checked out, I didn't even realize what tasted good and what didn't taste good. So I remember one time it just dawned on me, I don't even like these. It was the escape that I was seeking. And so I'm not eating veggie chips now because I just don't like them. So I'm not going to eat them anymore. And because I'm eating so many fresh fruits and veggies, and we grill a ton of meat during the summer, I haven't had those intense sugar cravings and intense chocolate cravings. But it also might be because if I want a piece of chocolate, I have a piece of chocolate and it's not a big deal.
Bingo.
Right. Or if, like with my friend, we shared a bottle of wine, whereas before, oh no, that wine has sugar. I can't have that wine. And it's just about, for the first time, really truly enjoying life. And I've had eating issues since I was probably 6 years old. So, and now I'm 44.
And you're free.
And I'm finally enjoying this.
It's interesting because a lot of people, when we say, let's put the diet away or let's put the rules away, I know for me, the first thing that came up is, oh my God, I'm going to binge on McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and chips all day long. That was the binge restriction mentality, right? Because when you restrict, you then binge, and you don't conceptualize that if you stop restricting, at some point you won't crave those food anymore. You're just going to crave beef.
Oh, yeah.
And oranges.
And I've been eating a lot of green beans just because they sound super good right now. But at the beginning of the academy, it's funny you mentioned that, because we were talking so much about there's no good food and there's no bad food. So since there's no bad food, I ate a piece of coconut cake every single day, I think for 7 days. And I just I had to get it out of my system, because that was always the forbidden fruit, this coconut cake from this bakery in town. And so I ate a piece every single day. And now I don't even think about that bakery. And I don't even crave coconut cake. It was just that it was something that I couldn't have, and I wasn't supposed to have it, just like the wine. And I was obsessed thinking about it, and the margaritas.
Yes. So it is, if you're fearing that, trust from both of us that you get it out of your system and then you move on. And then by eating intuitively, there is no way, when you're really connected with your body, that your body will seek destructing food that will destroy you and destroy your health. You will come to crave the beets and the salads and the oranges naturally, because your body will seek the nutrition.
I'm really glad that I ate that coconut cake every day. I'm glad that I went with it and I honored it and I didn't try and fight it. I think that was a really important step to help me pass through all of this history and figure out what actually tastes good to me right now.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to add to our discussion before we end it, Jessica?
Oh, I'm sure I've forgotten something
That's
important.
okay.
No, I've just absolutely loved it. And I think it's an amazing program. And every time I'm at an activity with my daughter and I'm talking with another mom, I'll always talk about it because they'll tell me, oh, it's summertime and I need to diet. And then I'll start talking about, oh, I'm doing this amazing academy and this is what it's all about. And then I remember one mom said, because we were talking about how their food is neither good nor bad, to start thinking. And she said, you should write a book. And I thought, well, Stephanie could write a book. This is not my stuff. It's Stephanie's stuff. Oh, because she asked me, how are you doing? And I said, I'm doing great. And she said, you look great. And it's because I had been meditating for a full week at that point. So my face looked completely different.
Yeah, because the anxiety was not observing, like filling your face with stress and fear all the time.
Right. Yeah, it's just been incredible. And for anybody who's on the fence, I would say just jump in with both feet, and you will not regret it at all. This is going to help you end that negative cycle that you've been on, and you're going to move through it. And you help us move through it.
Yeah.
And the community helps us move through it, and the assignments and all of it.
We're bonded together for the rest of our life. You realize
That's
that?
right. You can't get rid of me.
I know.
You're stuck with me.
So I want to say thank you very much for taking. We've almost chatted for 50 minutes. Thank you very much for doing that. And for anyone that's watching this in replay or live, if you have any question we haven't answered, I think I picked up all the question. If you have any question you haven't got an answer from, you can put it below this video or email us or DM me on Instagram, and then I'll answer your question. And I hope to see you on the other side, Tuesday's lesson. And maybe Jessica will be with us because the student have access forever, so they can pop into the lesson and come and join us as well. So
absolutely.
Thank you. I will end this broadcast and I will post Anka testimonial somewhere once I figure out how to do that. And thank you very much. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.